I've been on YouTube for 2 years, been posting videos since like 2020, and I really haven't said that much about myself. Maybe a year ago for the first time this was asked, and I've gotten questions about it since. Can I do a Q&A? Hit a milestone recently, 5,000 subscribers, super cool, and I also started streaming, figured now would be a good time, get some live questions in. Are you able to make a full beat without samples? The samples that I do use when I use them are basically just drum loops at this point. The melodic stuff and the chord stuff is pretty natural to me. Tele or Stratocaster. This right here is a Fender Stratocaster. It is like a cream yellow, and I'm super happy with it. Do I know how to play guitar? I wouldn't really say I know how to play guitar though. I know enough to be like a producer, and that is like strum one chord and then just totally like repitch and stuff. What made you start with music production? I think January of 2014. I was in high school at the time. My mom, she was like, you know what? You should really start to think about a career. Like, what do you want to do? I started looking around, thought I wanted to get into coding, get into software, because I was a bit of a techie at that point. Watched a few videos on how to code, and I knew I was going to hate it if I ever did that. And so I was like, all right, gotta find something else. And I think I was recommended a very specific video. It was Avicii in the studio making a remix for Dancing in My Head. And because of that video, for Christmas, I asked, hey, can I get a copy of FL Studio? It wasn't even out for Mac really. So I had a Mac at the time. I was using like my mom's old computer. And Avicii in the studio video was what got me into music production. Have you ever tried FL? What are your opinions on it? Okay, yeah, like I just said, I started in FL Studio. I would say the way they do automation in it makes the most sense. Like if you're going to put automation in your song, you want to be able to see it. And every other DAW that I've tried Logic, and I currently use Ableton. Every other DAW hides it, and that just doesn't make that much sense to me since I started on FL. How about this? Logic is really good because of instruments. It's got like a huge library in there. And then I would say Ableton Live is really good because the routing in there just makes so much more sense. And I got it because I was going to get really into EDM production and wanted to do really heavy bass processing. So that's why I have 3 DAWs on my computer. I use Logic every now and then, but I don't really touch FL that much. I got music production because of Martin Garrix back in the studio in 2014. Classic video. Classic video. I must have watched that like 100 times. How can I get a feature with you? For the most part, I'm not really doing like music with people. Like I know I'm a music production channel, but it's really hard to like work with other people on music if you're like so used to working on like your own stuff and working at your own pace. Right now, I upload a video every single week, and I'm going to start trying to upload twice a week, really. That doesn't really lend itself to like working with other people. Okay, so there's like a video I have that's like a prime example of this. Almost 2 months ago, I entered a music competition. This is my first time ever trying to like work with someone else on a video, basically working around like another person's schedule. I thought this competition would definitely be done by now. It's been like almost 2 months and just been waiting on it. So that's like probably the reason why I'm not gonna work with or do collabs that much. I want to post it right away. Like after I finish recording, I want to spend like 1 day editing maybe, and then I want to move on to the next thing. What are your thoughts on ukuleles? I saw your poll the other day. I think ukuleles really appeal to like beginners, and for some reason, once you get to like the moderate producer, you start to like hate simplicity and you start to gravitate towards complexity. You start to come around on stuff like that again because you see the value in like bringing new people into the space. If you ever hear like a professional ukulele, I think they do sound nice. Am I not making a real beat if I only use natural keys, the white ones, and not sharps or flats when using the piano? That's actually a pro tip I would have. If you're starting and you don't have a music background, this is the sauce. Write everything in C major or A minor, meaning you just use the white keys. And then after you're done writing all the parts, you can transpose it up or down to whatever key you want. Eventually, like, it really helps you be faster if you know the keys, but I don't know if you really need to start there as like a beginner producer or even intermediate producer. You can get a lot done with just using the white keys. I just realized that my light setup isn't my normal light setup. Let me fix that. There we go. Have you ever snapped a high E string on a guitar? Probably once before, not anytime recently. I actually don't play guitar that much in order to like actually break a string that would require me playing it. I don't speak good English, but I love your video. Thank you. What language do you speak? I might be able to say one word in your language depending on what you speak.
I'm French.
Yeah, sorry, I don't have anything. But I love hyperpop. Well, that's great. That's great. I've been learning a couple languages for a while, mostly because of the sunk cost fallacy of like, man, you already put so much time into this. What if you stopped? You would know like a quarter of how to speak in this language. So what languages am I learning? I started learning Spanish back in like high school. I just kept going at it. I tried Duolingo for the longest time, and I still use it. Because of that sunk cost, like, man, what if I snap my Duolingo streak? I just hit the like 909 consecutive days on Duolingo. They really farmed the FOMO effect on Duolingo, I gotta say. Is it great for like starting out? Yes, of course. And like learning pronunciation, but I switched to Anki. So I've been learning Spanish for a long time now, I guess. Also, Dutch. Why Dutch? I think I started because of one, all of the Dutch producers in EDM when I was starting out, and I thought that was interesting. And also, I like that Dutch is like super close to English because they have like a common ancestor. Would I recommend anyone learn Dutch? For one, are there any Dutch speakers near you? If not, might not be a good idea. Like, how are you going to use the language? And two, I think most Dutch people know English. So if you already speak English, I don't know how useful it's going to be, but I'm still learning. I don't know when I'm going to use it. Dutch sucks, bro? Yeah, but... Oh, nice, Vincent.
I spent the last like 2 years trying to learn Dutch, and now I feel like I have to say something in Dutch. Hallo, hoe gaat het? Tot ziens. That's about all you're going to get right now. Let me know. Rate me. Goed met jou? Sheesh. This is it's tough. Oh, thank you. Dutch is both easy and very difficult as an English speaker. I do kind of work on the accent a bit. Yeah, enough Dutch lessons right now. We're making music. That's what we're doing.
Is what you're going to post music on Spotify? There's something I like about making YouTube videos where I can say, hey, I'm only going to spend an hour making a beat, so you can't judge me for how it sounds. Maybe one day. I don't really like the permanence of how Spotify feels, and YouTube feels like it's like a different standard for like listenability. And also you have like the visual element on YouTube, which you don't really have on Spotify. So I'm gonna chop this up and turn it into a YouTube video. So this is me creating a YouTube outro. You ready? Ready?